To a dangerous intersection, and the city of Frontenac parts ways with Card's trash service. KOAM News at 10 is next.
After a fatality earlier this week, residents have safety concerns regarding an intersection between Galena and Baxter Springs. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, the Supreme Court agrees to hear arguments concerning a publicly funded religious charter school in Oklahoma. And crews in Lamar fight a morning house fire.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
An intersection between Galena and Baxter Springs is raising concerns after a fatal crash earlier this week. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Anthony Saviello. Hundreds of community members are asking for officials to make a change before another life is lost. KOAM Samantha Walker has the details.
A fatal crash at the intersection of Old 166, K26, and US 400 has Cherokee County residents questioning the safety of drivers at the intersection.
There have been a lot more accidents.
The intersection was formerly a 4-way stop, but was reconfigured after the opening of US 166/400 Expressway this past summer. Now it's a 2-way stop where north and southbound traffic don't stop. In a statement to KOAM, the Kansas Department of Transportation says this change was made to streamline traffic flow. The department says they're reviewing the past 6 months of crash history to see if there's been a change in the number of crashes since the change was made. Now behind me is that intersection that has residents concerned. Community members have started a Change.org petition that's gained hundreds of signatures within just a few days. They're encouraging KDOT to make a change to this intersection, whether it be adding additional signage letting people know it's there, changing the speed limit, making it a 4-way stop again, or even turning it into a roundabout. Anything, they say, to make it a little bit safer.
Something. There needs to be some sort of update so that people aren't losing their lives.
According to KDOT, they're aware of the community's concerns. In a statement, the department says that they're conducting a traffic study on the intersection and, quote, once the study is complete, all recommendations will be reviewed for feasibility prior to implementation. KDOT is collaborating with Cherokee County on this effort, and we value the input we have received from the community. For now, residents say it's up to them to try and stay safe when driving through.
It was a 4-way stop for a long time, and I think a lot of local people are just so used to that. So just be aware, pay attention, that's it.
Reporting in Cherokee County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
When we last checked in, the petition for change at the intersection had gathered more than 375 signatures. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty decent Friday for us today. It was windy across the region, but our temperature is pretty good, pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. 47 is where we topped out. Cold start, 10 degrees during the morning hours. We're not going to be near as cold like that as we get into the overnight hours tonight. And of course, average highs 45 degrees. A little breezy still tonight into Saturday morning. As a weak front slides in, the winds will calm down, but behind the front, the winds are going to pick up again tomorrow night into Sunday morning out of the north with gusts kind of 20 to about 25 miles per hour. Through the night by 11:30, 7:34 by 7, rebounding to 41 by 10 a.m. Not a whole bunch going on outside for us, and it looks like our temperatures, even though we're going to get some clouds in here, temperatures still looking pretty good by Saturday. What about rain chances? We'll look at that here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, see you soon. A Johnson County, Missouri couple charged with child sex crimes is accused in their infant's death. Yvonne and Gregory Arnold are charged with second-degree murder and abuse of a child, resulting in death in the 2009 death of their newborn. Law enforcement found a burial site with the body in a wooden box. In late 2024, the couple was charged with child sex crimes. The alleged abuse cases of 2 kids could go back nearly 2 decades. The United States Supreme Court will hear arguments concerning whether or not Oklahoma can open the nation's first publicly funded religious charter school. The decision comes despite a 7-1 vote that a taxpayer-funded religious charter school would violate the part of the First Amendment that prohibits government from making any law respecting an establishment of religion. Opponents of the Oklahoma charter school called on the justices to uphold the state court ruling, and the American Civil Liberties Union and other legal groups said in a statement, quote, "The law is clear. Charter schools are public schools and must be secular and open to all students," end quote. The group represents the school's opponents in a separate lawsuit. Justice Amy Coney Barrett is not taking part in the case, but did not explain why. Firefighters in Lamar battled a morning blaze on West 9th Street today. The call came in around 11. Multiple agencies responded to the house fire, where on arrival heavy smoke was visible. While residents made it out of the house safely, they were treated for smoke inhalation. Crews managed to control the fire in about 30 minutes. Emergency crews in Newton County responded to reports of a house fire last night near Neosho. On-scene crews found the chimney fire had spread to the roof. Because of lack of hydrants, crews began a tanker shuttle. All residents made it out safely. No firefighters were hurt battling the blaze. It's time once again for KOAM's 4 State Finest nominations, our Viewer Choice Awards. You nominate your favorite places in the 4 states, everything from restaurants to entertainment venues to fitness clubs, you name it. Top nominees then go to the voting round, and the deadline to nominate is February 2nd. Head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/finest and let people know what you think is the best the 4 states has to offer. Some students in McDonald County tap into one sweet lesson on making maple syrup. That story's coming up, but up first.
One trash service will no longer be serving the Frontenac community. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
If you live in Frontenac and use cards as your trash service provider, you may have to start looking for a new trash service. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more on why.
Dirty business. But somebody's got to clean it up.
Ishmael Balazi is the owner of Farmhouse Cafe in Frontenac. And as a restaurant owner, he says a reliable trash service is crucial.
Very important to come on time, to pick it up on time, to have a schedule.
And with the large volume of waste that restaurants can produce, a trash service that's not efficient can be a big problem.
It's got to be, we have a lot of trash every day. And then, we get picked up almost 3 to 4 times a week here. And we got a big bin, like 200, I think 200 yards.
And a reliable trash service is just as important for his home. And at his home, he's been using Cards Trash Service.
And they're pretty good. They do a good job.
But pretty soon, you won't be seeing any trash bins like this one with cards on the front. That's because the Frontenac City Council voted to deny the trash service's license application.
A lot of new things happening in 2025.
The mayor of Frontenac announced that as of May 1st this year, Cards won't be picking up trash in Frontenac. This comes after a unanimous city council vote on January 22nd that will no longer allow the trash service to operate within the city limits. This means Balazi, along with other Frontenac residents, will be on the hunt for a new trash service if they use Cards.
Search for who's the best out there. Who's clean is another thing, because I had one where they didn't clean the trash. Because they can come and clean it like every 3 months or every quarter, and they clean it, and now it's sanitary free.
And another thing he recommends as people embark on a search for a new trash service provider is staying within a reasonable price point.
The price and the service as well.
Reporting in Frontenac, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Cards has 10 days from when their permit was denied to appeal the decision. Well, Doug returns with another look at your weekend weather, and a little later, outdoor lovers hiked out to Pittsburgh for the annual hunting and fishing show.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a bitterly cold week across the 4-state area, but over the past 2 days, we've been warming up a little bit. Yesterday, we got right at that freezing mark. Now, it was a cold start during the morning hours. Our official low was 10, but look at this bump all the way up to 47 degrees for afternoon highs. We'll definitely take that. All right, for you tonight, 37 by 11, 34 by 7. Overnight low of 31, back to 41 by 10 a.m. And it's been breezy today. The winds are going to stay breezy once again as we go through the overnight hours. We're going to have some gusts, 20, upwards of 25. Good news, the winds come down a little bit Saturday afternoon as a weak cold front slides in. But once that front is through, the winds are going to get kind of breezy again behind the front with gusts kind of 20 upwards to 25 miles per hour at times as we start the day on Sunday. Not a whole bunch going on. We've had pretty much clear skies. We will get some clouds in here late tonight and into the morning hours, but still pretty calm across really the lower 48. Let me walk you through the weekend. Temperatures not near as cold tonight. We'll drop back upper 20s to near 30 degrees, but notice the clouds starting to thicken up. As we go through the day, by noon, I think most of us 43, 44 degrees. By afternoon, mostly cloudy skies, but our temperatures, they should top out 46, 47, 48 degrees, which, hey, we will definitely take. Clouds stick around tomorrow night. There could be a random sprinkle during the evening hours, and then we back down into the mid-20s to start Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, we'll get a little bit of sunshine in here, smidge cooler. We'll top out right around 40 or 41 degrees, and then Sunday night will be cold as well as we back down into the lower 20s. But overall, the weekend is setting up pretty good. 47 Saturday, 41 on Sunday. Again, random sprinkle, a lot of clouds through the weekend. If you are heading north, big football game, AFC Championship game, Bills at the Chiefs, Sunday evening, 5:30 kickoff. If you are heading up there, tailgating, mostly cloudy skies setting into the 30s. But for game time, upper 20s, which is cold, but it's going to be dry. We're not going to have a wind. So overall, looking pretty good. All right, let's go down the road. Cut off low, meaning it's cut off from the main flow of the jet. This guy will just meander its way slowly toward us all week next week. And eventually, by late Friday into Saturday, it's going to push through. And that will give us some rain chances. Until then, we don't really have much, if anything, really going on, but temperatures are going to be looking pretty good. But you can see that rain starting to spread in late next week. All right, let's go 47 Saturday, 41 on Sunday, 48 Monday. Look at this. A couple days of 50s on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then those rain chances will start to sneak in next Friday and Saturday, but much warmer over the next week. Anthony?
All right, Doug, sounds good. Some students in McDonald County got a tasty lesson today. The kids and their teachers took the classroom outside and tapped some maple trees. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks brings us a story you can really sink your teeth into.
I feel like this is a great way to connect my students to the outdoors and also tie that in with the cooking that we do in class. We are currently working on our breakfast chapter, and so we plan on taking the syrup and boiling it next week and then making pancakes. I will come in this weekend and empty it a little bit, but we'll also come and empty it on Tuesday when we're back to school and bring it into the classroom. They'll pour it into the pans and we'll boil it all the way down to get that to that syrup stage.
Just kind of learn where, I guess, the maple syrup came from, because this is the only way they could do it back then. So this is the original way to make the maple syrup. So it teaches us how to do it, and if we wanted to do it in our own way, we could do it ourselves. And then after we get enough of the sap, we get to go inside and make it, so we get to learn how to make it, and then hopefully have it with some pancakes or waffles. And it's cool to look, when you look more into how the trees work, it's very interesting to see how the sap moves from the top of the tree to the bottom of the tree, and then it comes from the tree to your plate.
In addition to the technical skills of tree tapping and syrup making, students will gain insight into sustainability, the chemistry of cooking, and the importance of understanding the origins of ingredients by the end of the project. The class hopes to incorporate their homemade maple syrup into future culinary creations. Coming up in sports, we hear from voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, ahead of the AFC Championship game. Plus, high school basketball tournaments continue across southeast Kansas. Brock Baldridge has the highlights from tonight and more.
High school basketball tournaments across our entire viewing area continue through the end of the week as multiple teams put themselves in position for Championship Saturday. Let's start in Pittsburgh at the Bill Hanson Memorial Tournament. Purple Dragons face Wichita West in the consolation bracket. First quarter here, 3 balls missed, but Nate Mitchell is there for the rebound and the putback. That gets the Purple Dragons on the board, but Wichita West goes off to a tremendous start in this one. Trez Hardman knocks down the 3. Wichita West led by 17 points at the end of the first quarter. So going to the second quarter now, Pittsburgh finds some momentum. Keandre Logan drives in the lane. That layup is good. On the defensive end, Danny Durden comes up with a huge block, and that's going to be Purple Dragon basketball going the other way. Later on now, Keandre Logan is going to connect from a long 3 at the top of the key. That one is good. Next possession, Logan gets the turnover. Fast break, going back over to the Danny Durden, who had some airtime as he slams it home with the left hand. This game went into overtime. Pittsburgh comes back from an early deficit. Purple Dragons go on to win it 53-46. Over in Frontenac, the Webb City Cardinals face the Nevada Tigers in the semifinals round of the Raider Classic. Early in the first, Eli Pace looking for points, but Sean Simmons blocks it. Kellen Braden off the fast break goes to Mason Majors off the assist there. Majors gives the Tigers an early lead, but Webb City finds their rhythm. Cardinals pass it around the horn. Holden Johnson is open, and Johnson nails the corner 3 before the buzzer. Cardinals take a 3-point lead after 1 quarter of play. Over to the second quarter, Joseph DeGraffenried finds Eli Pace at the top of the key. He sinks in the 3-point shot. 11-point lead for Webb City. Second half, Pace looking for 3 again, and that one is money. He finished with 15 points on the night. Cardinals extend their lead to 17. In the fourth quarter of play, Trey Turner gets the steal, lobs it up over to Holton Keith, who gets an easy layup. And listen to this, 26 points for Holton Keith in this one. Pace and Keith combined for 41 points. Webb City defeats Nevada 68-36. Cardinals playing the championship tomorrow at 2:30. In the nightcap of the Raider Classic, the Fort Scott Tigers square off with an undefeated Colgan Panthers team. We pick things up in the second quarter. Mariah Harris is open and she hits the mid-range jumper. Next Colgan possession, Kyla Osborne fires a 3 from the corner, and that's nothing but net. The heavyweight fight between these two teams continued throughout the night. Still in the second, Abby Gorman turns around, puts in the 15-foot jumper for 2 points, and then the freshman, Lorali Clark, shows off her range, and that 3 ball's good. Fort Scott led by 4 points going to halftime. Over to the second half, Abby Gorman is open from the corner, and she knocks down the 3. Maybe the high school game of the year. This one goes into double overtime. Fort Scott wins a big-time battle. Tigers beat the Panthers 49-44. Some noteworthy NFL coaching news. The Las Vegas Raiders have reportedly reached a 3-year deal with former Seattle Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll. This comes with a 4th-year team option. Carroll becomes the Raiders' 5th head coach since the team moved to Las Vegas. This also means Pete Carroll will become the NFL's oldest head coach at 73 years of age. Well, the past 7 years in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs have made it to the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs face the Buffalo Bills with a trip to the Super Bowl on the horizon. Mitch Holtis tells us what is on the line for the Chiefs this Sunday in this Minute with Mitch.
We are living history, and it feels like we're watching a 10,000-meter run on an outdoor track. That race is 25 laps, and it seemingly never ends. The best runners still require nearly 30 minutes to run that race. That's what it feels like watching the Kansas City Chiefs. They have run such a grueling race, and now it's reaching a pinnacle. Consider this, of the 8 previous back-to-back Super Bowl champions prior to the Chiefs, only 3 have made it this far to the conference championship game for a three-peat. All 3 lost in this round. The 1976 Steelers, the 1990 49ers, and the 1994 Dallas Cowboys. Much will be made of Patrick Mahomes against Josh Allen for the 4th time in the postseason. But there is way more history on the line in this game on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry in Joplin and Pittsburgh.
So as Mitch said, we're living in history.
Sure.
We'll see if the Chiefs can get the job done. Now, obviously, just by making the Super Bowl, they would make history, but obviously everyone wants that three-peat.
Sure, and you have to think about it. You talk about the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Niners.
Yeah.
Each of those teams repeated.
Yes.
And when they went for their three-peat, they lost in the AFC Championship
Or
next
conference
year.
championship.
Or,
yeah, those are all
the
mostly NFC teams. Yeah.
So what What do the Chiefs mentally, what do you think they have to do to just make sure they don't do that?
I mean, kind of like what I said last week, you know the Bills, you know they're a good team, and you're going to have to find a way to slow them down. Obviously, sure. I think the big key factor in this one is going to be, what can the Chiefs, can they, maybe not sell for field goals? Can they get 7 points on the board? And I think that will be really tremendous, coming down to crunch time.
It's a heavyweight giant with Josh Allen behind center, for sure. That's a look at sports. We're back with more after this.
Hey, I'm Scott.
Yeah, temperatures look pretty good as we head into the weekend. 47 on your Saturday, a little bit cooler on Sunday, 41, but back to 48 on Monday. Look at this, 50s moving in Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we're going to get a chance for rain, maybe a few flakes of snow trying to mix in, especially late Friday night, and into Saturday morning.
All right. Well, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search the KOAM News app. Hunters and anglers across the 4 states made their way to Pittsburgh for the 19th Annual Fishing and Hunting Show. The event featured dozens of vendors and their products, as well as plenty of fun for the whole family, including casting for kids and inflatable archery.
It feels great. I watch people walk by. The first thing they notice is the targets and how unique they are. It really grabs their attention, and that makes us feel good that people are seeing them. We also just want to let everybody know about us.
If you missed out today, don't worry. You've got another chance tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Both admission and parking are free. Well, speaking of, maybe not outdoorsy sports, but what's a final sports note for us?
Well, let's talk about a sport indoors, basketball.
Sure.
Meaning that way. But, basketball, high school. We got more high school hoops tomorrow. Missouri Southern versus Pittsburgh State tomorrow. Basketball, we'll have highlights of that one. And I want to say Colgan versus Fort Scott tonight, girls basketball. I've worked here at KOAM for the last 2 years. Best game I've ever been to. Best high school game. A lot of players giving out max energy, really big coaching intensity. I love seeing all that. So, great game. Congrats to both teams. They played a really hard-fought battle.
Love to see it. That's our time for tonight. Have a good night.